Well, as New Yorkers are battling and trying to deal with COVID-19, one of the things that we're trying to find out is how is the best way that we can actually stay healthy during a time such as this? How do we boost our immune system? How do we keep our bodies in the best possible shape to try to avoid contracting COVID-19? And even for those who do have COVID-19, how to deal with it. So, joining us a little bit to talk about this right now is a very special guest, Dr. Rosanna De La Cruz. She's the owner of Washington Heights Wellness, and she joins us here on Open. And Dr. De La Cruz, good to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yeah. And I think your voice is so critical, like during a time such as this, because so many people are trying to do their best to make sure that they're staying healthy. And when we talk about staying healthy, one of the things we talk about is our immune systems. And so I know that, that's your specialty and dealing a little bit with immune system support. But can you talk a little bit about immune system and how the virus actually does affect the immune system?
Absolutely. So, our body, I always say to all my patients and everyone that I come in contact with, that the body has the ability to heal itself. And we, for the most part, are born healthy. So, the immune system is it's always working for us. And during these times, it's extremely important that we do the right thing to support our immune system, our nervous system, and also our hormonal system. They all work together and they all affect each other. So I very simple tips that we can use to stay healthy to boost immune systems are usually pretty easy, and we don't have they're not complicated. They're simple. They do require for us to take some effort, but they are simple, and we can start doing them today. We don't need to go anywhere. So I will be happy to share some of those with you.
Yeah, so let's walk through a little bit of this here because there's some steps that we can be taking, some healthy steps that we can be taking, right? And so we know the basics about washing our hands, right? So give us a little bit more about beyond washing our hands and keeping our hands washed. But even for that, I found that so many people don't even know about the proper way to wash hands. So let's go over the proper way to wash hands.
So 20 seconds, usually if we sing the ABC or the alphabet is good enough time. Definitely we should have soap because just washing our hands with water is not enough. Thankfully, this virus can be avoided by having the proper hygiene. We now know that the points of entries for this virus are our eyes, our nose, and our mouth. This is where it's easiest for us to get exposed. So at this point, it's extremely important that we use a mask and even sunglasses. And if we are talking now that we are having social distancing in place, that we know to keep our mask. So with washing the hands, it's pretty simple and it's very important. Every time we come inside our house, no matter if we think we didn't touch anything or we had gloves, it's extremely important that we wash our hands and we disinfect all surfaces that we touch on our way in. But those are very easy ways that we can prevent exposing ourselves or others in our house to this virus.
One of the things that people talk about is sleep during this time, right? It's important, but let's be honest, sleep habits are actually being challenged right now, right? When you look at the average person is spending more time at home, it's hard to get into a normal sleep routine because either I'm watching TV a little bit more, or I'm spending too much time doing other stuff. So that sleep routine, how important is a sleep routine in a time such as this?
It's extremely important, specifically nighttime sleep, because there are specific hormones that only regenerate at night. And not only because it's hormones, but the hormonal system aids the immune system. So our body only heals during sleep. And this virus is like going to a war, right? Is we have this battle, which is the virus, and we have to be prepared in every way possible, like warriors, to see who's going to be stronger, the virus or immune system. So at this point, although it is difficult to create routines, that's one of the simple things that we can do that requires us to put some effort. So turning off the TV when it's time to go to sleep. It's been proven that 10 o'clock at night is the ideal time to go to sleep. And if we have the habit of not going to sleep at that time, start cutting 15 minutes every night will help until we get into the rhythm. It is very important to get a very good night's sleep. Another core asset, as I call it to my patients, is hydration. When we stay well hydrated, everything flows better. Less bacteria and virus can attach to organs and tissues. We actually have more energy, and all of our bodily functions are more prepared to deal with anything. It's not only this virus, but we have latencies and chronic disorders that have been accumulating. So this is not only during the coronavirus, but it's extremely important to keep that hydration and sleep on point. The other thing that we can do is cut processed foods, try to eat as whole as possible, including sugars. Sugars are known as being pro inflammatory, which are also going to impact the immune system. So, if we can cut sugar and processed foods from our body, we are already helping the immune system.
Amazing information there. Before we go, let me ask one question. If a client is talking to you right now and they're saying, listen, I'm really concerned about this, what would be your immediate advice to just tell them and help ease them through a time such as this, knowing that we're seeing the massive amount of numbers like we see in New York City of people being contracting as well as being, but we're seeing healthy people being, well, I should say people being released too and coming home. But what would you give them? What would be the main piece of advice that you would share?
The main piece of advice is to remind them that we are resilient and that this too shall pass, and we're going through it together. And by taking care of ourselves is the way that we can fight panic. Panic is also going to suppress the immune system and fear. So we have to stay grounded, having some mindsets every day, have a time for meditation and prayer. And third, telemedicine. There are lots of practitioners out there helping not only with mental health but also with natural medicine. We are offering telemedicine to our patients. They can go to our website and request a free consultation. It's completely free. So that's what I would say: to look for help and to remember that we are resilient, and we this too shall pass, and we're going through it, all of us together at the same time.
Certainly appreciate you, Dr. Rosanna De La Cruz. She's the owner of Washington Heights Wellness Center. And of course, thank you for the work that you do and helping others to stay well. Thank you for being here on Open.
Thank you, Jamie. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe.
No problem. Dr. Rosanna De La Cruz. And listen, we've got more Open. Stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.